Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. These Where the Bite videos are doing really well. So really quickly, if this is your first time on the channel, would you do something for me? Would you hit that thumbs up button down below, and then also would you hit the description button over here in the corner? That way you get notified whenever we release awesome content like we've been putting out here lately. So the bite has actually gotten kind of tough for me. Fished a tournament this past Saturday, just due to the offshore bite that I'd been having over the last couple of weeks. Thought it was going to be a really easy day. As a matter of fact, the guy that I fished with, I just told him, I said, we should have a limit in the first 30 minutes. So pulled up on my best spot, and we fished there for about an hour and 15 minutes, caught 4 keepers. And then went to my other really good spot, and there was somebody sitting on it. So ended up going all the way down to Davidson Creek, and if you're familiar with Lake Norman, and just ran all the brush piles and Christmas tree places on points and shoals that I had found, and was able to actually cull up, finish out our limit and begin to cull. Ended up going back to the second spot that we hit and caught one on a flutter spoon, on a really deep hump, comes up to about 30 foot. So the offshore bite has actually gotten really tough. Could have just been the weather that we had, but it was really tough on me and my partner. As a matter of fact, we ended up going shallow for about the last hour, and missing a couple of really key fish that I think we wouldn't have been able to win on. But my partner ended up losing a couple of really nice ones offshore too, so I don't really know if you can say that. So if I was going out this afternoon, which I was hoping to, maybe might, I'm actually, surprisingly, I'm going to be checking some shallow stuff. Thinking about fishing another tournament this weekend. But the bite, I mean, you can catch fish. It's not, we probably caught 30-some fish Saturday. Just not the size that we needed, of course, for the tournament. Still throwing the same baits. Throwing a 3/4 ounce swim bait. Throwing a True South. Not True South. True Bass Swimbait with a True Bass Head. Been catching some decent fish on that bait. Slow rolling it on some of those points and humps and things like that. Been throwing a flutter spoon. You guys have already seen that. So yeah, they're there. You can catch them. You're just right now, I think, and me and my partner were talking about this. What's happened is something that as an offshore fisherman I knew, but I really didn't think about. And this is something to really think about as an offshore angler. The first 2 to 3 weeks of those fish getting offshore, they're super easy to catch. As a matter of fact, you get those big schools, they group up, and you can pull up on a spot and catch 30, 40, 50, 60, 75 fish. But then as the summer goes on and as those places begin to get more pressure, those fish begin to break up, the school breaks up, and they become harder to catch. And so what you end up having is you're hitting multiple spots throughout a day, pulling up, catching 1, 2, maybe 3 fish, and then going on to the next spot. And so you almost have to milk run, if you will. And so I think that's what's happened on Norman. Those big schools, they're getting pressure now, and so it's beginning to split them up. and they're beginning a little bit harder to catch. But the one thing I love about Lake Norman is you can go anywhere and catch fish, deep to shallow. When we went shallow Saturday, we were throwing shaky heads, and I was looking for a big bite. I was throwing a True South 3/4 or 3/8 ounce jig, just skipping up underneath boat docks trying to find that big bite. So for me, for my 2020, really on that tournament, when we had our limit that we ended up weighing in, when we had that by about 12 o'clock, if I could go back, and this is where I think we messed up, I should have, as soon as we got that limit, headed to the bank with a jig and started skipping boat docks, trying to catch a bigger fish and get a bigger bite. Of course, didn't do that, and so that's why I ended up weighing in about 8.5 pounds. Been trying to check and see where we ended up. Nobody's really posted anything yet, so there were about 24 boats. I'm thinking we didn't do very well, so I'm thinking somewhere middle of the pack, maybe a little bit lower. But it's okay, because you know, that's how you learn. But anyway, guys, that's the fishing report. Not a whole lot from me going on. You know, my wife and I are in the process of buying a house in eastern North Carolina, so you're going to see a lot of content from Lake Norman, and then it's going to kind of just taper off. So, but then you'll get to see some content from back east. So I'll be fishing a lot of rivers, tidal water, which is what I grew up fishing, and then also some lakes. You know, some really awesome lakes on that eastern side of the state. You know, Falls Lake, Jordan Lake, Sharon Harris. You say those lakes sound familiar. That's because MLF fished them last year and absolutely smoked them in April. Those lakes just have tons of fish and tons of big fish. And you know you got a good lake when it takes between 25 to 35 pounds to win. So, and then, you know, fishing Carr Lake, Gaston Lake, those are all lakes that I grew up fishing, know fairly well. So that's a good thing. But guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have, make sure you smash that like button. Maybe share it with a friend. Really trying to grow the channel, and it's growing really well right now. So in the last 30 days, you know, I think we're up like 20 some subscribers, so that's really awesome. So let me just say this to you guys who are watching this: thank you so much, and catch you guys later. Hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Bye-bye.